In this show, I'm going to try to get you to forget, that's what I said, forget the fear of speaking. Yeah, that's what I said. Forget the fear of speaking. I read weekly dozens of posts talking about the fear of speaking, what to do about it, how to get over it, the different techniques that people offer, lessons to be learned, CDs to be bought, books to be bought, downloaded, buy from Amazon, what have you. There's a ton of information. We know that 60 to 70%, depending on the poll you read, of Americans say fear of speaking is their number one fear. We know that. I've said it, you have read it, we all know it. Well, before I weigh in and tell you what I think about all of this, I want to tell you some of the stuff that I've read in the last week or two that I think is standout information, and you should be aware of it. Okay, the first thing I want to mention, we actually discussed here in show number 10, which was know your audience. So to tell somebody that a solution to their fear or their reluctance to speak in front of a group will be alleviated by knowing your audience, I think frankly is bunk. It just doesn't make sense to me. I don't care how well you know who's sitting out there, whether it's 5 people or 500 people. If you have a resistance to getting up in front of that group, knowing who they are, I don't think it's going to help you get over that. So I don't buy into that. Bunk. Thumbs down on that. What it may do, it may help you design a better presentation, but get over your fear? I don't think so. So some of the other pearls of wisdom that I've been reading about on the web that I want to share with you go something like this. You're not alone. Well, does being told you're not alone really help you get over the fact that you have some kind of basic resistance to public speaking? I don't really think so. How about this? Act as if there's no audience. Now, how do you do that, for crying out loud? You're standing in front of a group of people in an office space, 5, 6, 8, 10 people. You're in a little theater environment, maybe 25, 30 people. You're going to pretend that they're not there? And pretending that they're not there is going to make it easier for you to deliver your speech or your presentation to an empty room? I don't really think that's going to work, and you don't want that to work. You don't even want to try to make that work because you want to be able to interact with the people that are sitting there. And how do you interact with a room full of non-people? I don't think that works any more than, and this is a good one, I like to bring this up periodically, imagine the audience is naked. Can you believe that somebody's telling you to stand up there in front of this group of people, however many it is, and just imagine that they're all naked, and that's supposed to make it easier for you to speak to them? Wouldn't make it easier for me to speak to them. I don't know about you. And then there's a couple of old standbys that I just have to bring up because I want to dissuade you from thinking that these are suitable solutions. One of them is to practice in front of a mirror. I don't think that's a good idea. Self-assessment that way is not going to give you real feedback, and that's what you need. And if you want to rise above your expectations of yourself, you need to work with somebody else. I truly believe that. Or the worst bit of advice that I can think of for a new speaker is to tell the person to memorize the speech. What an awful experience that person can potentially have. So you memorize the speech, which you shouldn't do. You're going to be stiff. You're going to be stilted. If you should forget anything about the presentation, where you are, you stumble and you don't know how to pick it up, or you can't pick it up because your stress level is so high, you haven't a clue as to where you are. Not really. What an awful position to put yourself in. You don't want to go there. Okay, here's a couple of more pointers before I get into my 2 cents on this whole thing. One of them just says, just relax. Just relax. No. Yeah. Just relaxing is a result of doing something else. Okay, then there's this one. Be funny. Don't be too funny, but be funny. What does that say? This is the kind of stuff that's running around on the web right now. I find it manic. Add into that all of the other stuff which may have value, which is therapy, NLP, neuro-linguistic programming, drug therapy, whatever, to get past your fear of speaking. Oh, and then there was one that I thought was really excellent. This is good advice, by the way, and I will underscore this. Don't make a presentation when you're drunk. Well, that's what it said. Don't make a presentation when you're drunk. Well, I think that's good advice. You would think that you wouldn't have to say that. But just in case you're thinking that it might make it easy for you, then I underscore that. But please, don't make a presentation when you're drunk, okay? So let me weigh in on this and give you another perspective from all of this other stuff. We all have an internal dialogue running in our heads. We all have it. Everybody does. It doesn't mean you're crazy if you're having a discussion with yourself. You're walking down the street, you're at a restaurant, you're driving the car somewhere, and you have this little thing going on in your head. If you're going to have a dialogue, if you're going to have a conversation with yourself, have a good one, okay? Have a positive one. If you focus on your fear of speaking, you will sustain your fear of speaking. All right, there is a certain truth to thoughts create reality. I want you to think positively. Maxwell Maltz says it takes 3 weeks to change a habit. And if your habit is, I can't speak, I hate speaking, I can't get up in front of a group of people and speak, that's what you will produce, that's what you will sustain. So what I'd like you to do for 3 weeks, I'd like you to say 3 times a day, say it to yourself. Nobody has to hear you. I like speaking. Or I like to speak. Just say it even though you don't believe it. It doesn't matter if you believe it, say it. 3 times a day minimum, 4 or 5 times a day if you want. See where your thinking is about the end of the second week. You are going to be surprised. Now, will this suddenly miraculously turn you into an excellent public speaker? Well, it'd be great if it did. I don't think that's going to happen. But it's going to change your attitude about the possibilities of you getting involved. But the number one important issue is that you have to want to do this, because if you don't want to do it, you're not going to accomplish it. Okay? Reading books, working with CDs or DVD programs isn't going to make a difference to you if you, in fact, don't want to get involved. But if you do want to get involved, a good way to start to prepare yourself to learn techniques and be able to stand up and say what's on your mind is to start to say 3 times a day for the next 3 weeks, I like to speak. My advice is to forget the fear, forget it, get rid of it. 3 times a day for the next 3 weeks, I like to speak. Try it. Try it. You'll like it. Thanks for stopping by. Happy speaking, and I'll see you next time.